In a world that's evolving faster than ever, this is a space for ideas, knowledge, and connection. Here we exchange insights and perspectives with respect and curiosity, navigating the digital age together. From the mind to the machine, from the human to the future, we're here to explore the boundaries of innovation, creativity, and learning. Welcome to the journey.
All right, here we go. We're gonna record as it is. We are having a technical issue. There is something coming out of the mic. There's some noise when you talk that I have checked everything and I can't figure it out. What is it from? I mean, it's from the audio in, but yeah, now it's gone. Yeah, it's probably the cable, the extension cable. Oh well, but luckily we have a software that with a little subscription we can fix that during the editing. So yeah, man, I even forgot what I was gonna talk about today because it's already midnight, quarter past, and I wrote today's vlog again, jumping over all the ideas I had previously because today I got to a situation where it's unbearable, you know? It is one thing that sometimes people talk a lot about. I always say when you bring some argument up, you always have to specify what you're looking at, what time in the timeline you're referring to, you know? Because a lot of people blame the English for British Empire, this and that. But at the same time, a lot of people is here working and making their lives here and whatnot. I always say that, you know, even though English is the common language, I don't really believe that is only because of that. I do believe that is because it's the easiest language of all. You know, definitely English, as I said, you know, I'm not minimizing anything. I'm just saying that grammatically, the structure of English, you know, and yeah, it's easier, you know, compared to I speak Portuguese, Italian also fluently, and a little bit of French. I'm studying German, you know, and English is by far the easiest, you know. So, but anyway, back in the day when I first came here, 2002 or something, three, everybody that was here knew that you had to speak English to integrate, you know. Everybody knew you had to make some effort, you know, to be able to get a good job, to be able to even like, you know, you could get jobs with little English, but you had to try, you know. And somewhere along the way, this has changed. You know, people moved here. Man, if we were in Paris, I understand people that not want to speak English, you know. If you were in Spain, I also understand. But even like, you know, there are other countries such as the Netherlands, Norway, and, you know, Nordic countries. They all speak English, you know, but my second citizenship, Luxembourgish, I mean, yeah, you know, so they also, people come out of school that are speaking five languages in Luxembourgish, German, French, and English. Yeah, four. And now Portuguese. But yeah, you know, so it kind of annoys me that people don't make effort, you know, to try to do better, especially people that has positions where they are influencing on people's life, you know. For example, teaching, you know, teaching it's if you were in the UK and you were teaching art, you have to speak English properly. I'm not saying you have to be a master. I'm saying you have to be able to communicate properly. not committing, you know, B1 level mistakes, you know? You can commit some mistakes. Yeah, everybody does, you know, like again, I'm not bragging here, but I got told by Italians that I could speak better Italian than some Italians that probably didn't study. You know, I studied. I also studied English. I've been studying, I study every day. I love English, you know, I prefer it's my favorite language. Maybe that's why it pisses me off a little bit as well. That you go to university, the guy that is paid to deliver content to make you learn, he commit very he commits like very beginner mistakes such as this one. Forget the S for he she it, but I self-corrected, you know. And it's something that when you teach that every day, you know, when you were it's hard for someone to gain credibility if you are teaching any subject but you cannot speak the common language properly. I don't know if I'm wrong or not, but it's just how can I trust you if you didn't care for the basic, that is making sure you were clear to be able to teach what you have to teach. And then besides the lecturers at the university, I'm talking also about some staff that was what pissed me off today. Today I called there to try to solve some issues to see if I'm gonna enroll in another course or if I'm gonna continue this one that I don't believe I will. And staff also couldn't speak English and didn't know what to do. The simplest questions ever that I have made, they couldn't answer. And they were like passing the call like a hot potato, you know? I was like, Jesus Christ, man, it's, I don't know, 12 grand, 10 grand. I don't know how much we have given to them for a year, but it's about that because I'm paying obviously monthly. But so I sent them an email today. I said, hey guys, listen, I have tried to be patient, I have tried to understand, and it just got to a point that I can't give them more money for what I'm getting back, you know. Same happened to the therapists, that wasn't the language the issue, but it was the knowledge, the professionalism, like the way that I have done enough care to listen and enough sessions as an interpreter to understand how it works, from real professionals, So when you're giving a therapist that is either too young or inexperienced, it's hard, especially in terms of therapy and stuff. So yeah, I can't deal with the university anymore. I'm gonna see. I am already turning because I believe in tech. I can learn everything I need for my needs. Uh, I can learn everything by myself. There is a lot of information available out there, and I love self learning. Now that I got the hang of it, I can manipulate the computer, not as much as I would like to, but a lot more than I knew a year ago. And I'm going to study psychology. You know, this is one thing that I have been reading a lot about, and it's something that I really believe it can add a lot to my life, but eventually I can also help people to understand things as well once I get everything, you know. And yeah, my therapist, like my liaison here, the girl from the GP that looks after my medication and stuff, she presented me to something called the wounded healer, So I'm really going to that. I'm reading a lot about that from Young, so it's really cool. But yeah, so and then I was thinking, I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about this today. Sorry, that was a bloody. I'm gonna talk about this today, but then during the day after I calm down a little bit, I start to think this is already results of technology. This is already outcome of the arrival of technology and different opportunities and possibilities. Where people can make money in other ways. Like I said that when I was working hospitality post COVID, I said that. I said the problem is that most of the intelligent people that used to work in hospitality during COVID learned how to work digitally and off they went, and that's the truth. Because I wasn't smart enough during COVID. I was depressive, getting pissed, and traveled a bit as well. I went to Brazil, France. I traveled all over because I was in Stroud. I was going mental. So I wasn't smart enough during COVID to kickstart. Because whoever did, it's very well. I see a guy, a Brazilian guy. He's earning $400,000 a year, and he started making videos eating food from garbage, rests on McDonald's, surviving as a backpacker in Europe. But he was there at the right time. So that's what I think. And then that's why we have these people now around that couldn't care less, don't do any effort, and that involves everything. As I said, it's not only the lack of will to do their jobs, which is in several sectors, but also to adapting, moving to a country, learning the language, accepting the culture. I have mentioned here already the fact that I don't care what happened in the past. We are now today. What's going on today? How does it work here? All right, here you walk on the left side, so fucking walk on the left side, mate. Here we say sorry when you bump to someone. Yeah, so do it, but everything has changed. And this is kind of annoying, because it took me a while to learn. I'm very adaptable, but I can't adapt to the wrong now, which for me is wrong. Like, that's why I created a studio and I started to invest time to work digitally because the human beings are disappointing me every day more and more and more. I have mentioned about people that I see online. I try to reach to them, just to interact, to start to create an online community or some thought of relationship. But people are not what they are in camera, though. So right, but that's what I want to talk. It's just I can't go on with these anymore. So I'm gonna withdraw from this university, and I will look for a course where I can do online. I don't want to go to anywhere anymore as well. So I'm gonna look for any any course in the area, psychology area, and psychological area, and yeah, I'm gonna study online. Because again, my goal always being to be able to earn money to go up to the mountains. And every day I want more and more, but I can't. I'm still stuck in London. But things are moving forward. I can assure you that things are moving forward, and I'm pretty stoked with. So I'm finishing the TOEFL last assignment. I mentioned yesterday 30 questions, but man, every question takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to finish. It's a lot of typing, and I got cogged already with paraphrasing using AI tools. So I am literally typing everything and uh, synthesizing, like we say, yeah, synthesizing all the content, because uh, even paraphrasing they are getting you now. But yeah, it's good, especially this last one is pretty straightforward. And this is what I've been doing for over 7 years, teaching one to one online. So I think the tough part was the business and the first module that had a lot of technical information about uh, students and ways of learning, ways of teaching, ways of adapting, and all that. So I think that was the hardest. All right, so that's it. It's almost 1 o'clock already. I have class at 9 a.m. and I have to edit this and finish that question that is number 4. And yeah, voila, here we are. Another day, another dollar. Let me know what you think. Like a lot of people may think I am wrong from the 700 and something bots I have here in my channel. Uh, but I think that the least you can do when you move somewhere is just accept the way things are and try to adapt, not change, because I think that the way things are in the present moment it is hard enough, with all this information, all the discoveries, or the information that we get about what happens on the backstage is, I think the only way you will be like be kinder to each other and try to make some effort to be a better being, and in this case, if you live in the UK, you work in hospitality or in a teaching job or in whatever, try to do your best for that people that you are serving, and try to learn how it works here. I'm not telling you to eat English breakfast every day, but how to communicate, how to behave in some, that has always been the magic about England, and it's all going. But yeah, I got some studies to do. Let me know what you think. I'll see you around.